On December 8, 2025, the early morning was calm, but this calm did not last long. Loud artillery fire suddenly broke the quiet along the border between Thailand and Cambodia. This attack instantly destroyed a peace agreement. United States President Donald Trump had helped sign this agreement only weeks before. Everyone hoped for lasting peace, but that hope was now gone. This sudden violence showed big problems for diplomacy. The efforts made by the United States to bring peace had failed. ASEAN, a group of nations in Southeast Asia, could not stop the fighting either. A conflict that started over 100 years ago had returned. This new war was a tragedy, bringing pain and fear to many innocent people. The situation was serious. The peace deal, which many called perfect, unraveled very fast. In just a few weeks, promises of peace turned into sounds of war. This made many wonder, how could such a big agreement break so violently in such a short time? What went wrong after the leaders shook hands and smiled for the cameras? This story will try to answer that question. The peace deal itself had secret problems. These problems were like hidden cracks in a foundation. They made the new war unavoidable. The peace agreement looked good on the surface, but deep inside, it was not strong. It was always ready to fall apart. 2. The fight in July. To understand the events of December, we must first look back to July of 2025. During that summer month, the border between Thailand and Cambodia saw very intense fighting. It was the worst violence in more than 10 years. Small fights began near a place called the Emerald Triangle. These quickly became much bigger. Both countries sent more soldiers and weapons to the border. What started as small arguments turned into serious military action. Each country did things to anger the other. One side placed landmines, which hurt soldiers. The other side closed border roads, stopping all trade. They even cut off internet and power to some villages near the border. People could not buy or sell goods. This made life very hard for many families. Because of the danger, many people had to leave their homes. Almost 300,000 people, men, women, and children, ran away from the border areas. They left their farms and villages to find safety. These villages became empty and quiet, filled with fear. The situation grew worse very quickly. Military trucks and tanks moved to the front lines. Airplanes were ready to fly. It looked like a total war would begin between the two nations at any moment. The air was thick with tension and the smell of gunpowder. Everyone waited, holding their breath for the sound of the first big battle. But then, just when total war seemed certain, an important person stepped in. This leader worked to force both sides to stop fighting. It brought a pause to the conflict. This sudden stop prepared the way for a risky and high-pressure effort to make peace. The chance for peace was small, but it was there. 3. The peace deal. After the very bad fighting in July, leaders started to talk. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim worked hard to bring peace. He helped the two countries agree to stop fighting for a while. But this first ceasefire was not strong enough. Tension stayed high along the border. There were still small problems and accusations. It was clear a bigger effort was needed to truly stop the war. Then United States President Donald Trump stepped in. He used strong words. He told both Thailand and Cambodia that he would put high taxes on their goods if they did not agree to peace. This was a heavy warning. The leaders listened to President Trump. They did not want their countries to lose money from trade. On October 26, 2025, a big meeting happened in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul and Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet were there. President Trump and Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim were also present. They all signed a new peace deal. Everyone said it was a great thing, a peace found against the odds. This deal was supposed to remove landmines, take away big weapons from the border, and even put Malaysian soldiers there to keep the peace. But there was a hidden problem. The New Deal did not talk about the real border lines. It did not say exactly where Thailand's land ended and Cambodia's land began. This was the main reason for the fighting for many years. Without clear lines, the problem was not truly solved. Experts who watched the deal were worried. They said the agreement was mostly for the news cameras and President Trump's image. They believed it was not a strong plan for real peace. They warned that the deal was fragile. On the ground, the soldiers knew this too. Even after the signing, they were already getting ready for more trouble. They believed the peace would not last. 4. Old maps and temples. To understand why fighting started again, we must look at history. The problem between Thailand and Cambodia is very old, going back over 100 years. It began because of French colonial maps made in 1904 and 1907. These maps were supposed to show the border between Thailand, then known as Siam, and French-ruled Cambodia. However, the maps did not perfectly match the agreements. This led to confusion about the exact borderline, especially around the ancient Preah Vihar temple. This temple is about 900 years old and stands on a high cliff. It is a very important place for both nations. It is easier to reach the temple from Thailand, but Cambodia says the land belongs to them. This has made the temple a strong symbol and a cause for many past arguments. In 1962, a global court, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, made an important decision. It ruled that Preah Vihar Temple was on Cambodian land. The court ordered Thailand to remove its soldiers from that area. Thailand said it would follow this rule at the time. But over the years, Thai soldiers often stayed close to the temple. In 2013, Cambodia asked the ICJ to clarify its first decision. The court again said that Cambodia owned the temple and the land around it. It repeated that Thailand must take its military away. Cambodia accepts these court rulings as the final word. However, Thailand still disputes parts of the border, especially areas outside the main temple site. Thailand argues about who truly owns certain zones. There are other ancient temples and lands in the Dangrek Mountains where the border is still unclear. These areas are called overlapping claims areas, and they are very hard to divide. Because the old maps were not perfect, and because both countries have different ideas about history, these problems have never truly been solved. These long-standing issues were always present, like historical ghosts. Soon, a small action by one soldier, stepping onto a disputed patch of dirt, was about to cause a big and dangerous event. 5. The war starts again. The early morning of December 8, 2025, was supposed to be peaceful. Weeks before, there was a new peace agreement. Many people hoped the fighting between Thailand and Cambodia would stop forever. But on this day, everything changed. The noise of big guns broke the quiet. The war started again, destroying the peace deal. It was a sad moment for everyone. Thailand said that Cambodia started the attack. Thai military officials reported that at 3 o'clock in the morning, Cambodian troops fired heavy artillery. They used big guns and mortars. Cambodian soldiers also moved closer to the border. This first attack, Thailand said, killed one Thai soldier. 4 to 7 other soldiers were hurt in Ubon Ratchathani province. Because of this, Thailand launched its own attacks. At 5 minutes past 5 o'clock in the morning, Thai F-16 fighter jets flew into the sky. They fired at Cambodian army bases and support areas. Thai leaders said they had to protect their country and their people from this attack. But Cambodia told a different story. Cambodian officials said that Thailand was the one who started the war. They claimed that Thai forces began their attacks at 5 o'clock in the morning. Cambodia said its soldiers only fought back to defend themselves. They were responding to what they called Thai attacks. Cambodian Information Minister Neth Piaktra reported very sad news. He said that Thai airstrikes killed at least 4 Cambodian civilians. These people were in the northern provinces of Adar Manche and Preah Vihear. Many more civilians were hurt. Cambodian leaders said they wanted peace, but they would protect their land and people. Both sides used powerful weapons. Thai forces used their fast F-16 fighter jets for air attacks. Cambodian soldiers used BM-21 Grad rockets, which are large rockets that can hit many targets. They also used heavy mortars. The border region quickly became a place of loud explosions and danger. It was very hard to know the truth. Who fired first? Who started this new war? Both countries said the other side was wrong. This question remained a mystery. It was like a thick fog of war where the truth was hidden. Nobody could say for sure which country made the first move. As the loud sounds of war continued, the first news of civilian deaths began to come out. Many innocent people were hurt or killed. Villages near the border were no longer safe. Thousands of people received urgent warnings. Run for your lives, the fighting is close. Families had to leave their homes quickly, not knowing if they would ever return. The peace was truly over, and fear filled the air. 6. People run away. The loud sounds of war brought fear to many people. On December 8, 2025, the fighting started again. People had to leave their homes very fast. Nearly 400,000 Thai civilians left their villages. They were told to go to safer places. The government opened many shelters, and 50,000 people stayed there. They left their farms and businesses, not knowing if they would ever return. This sudden flight caused much sadness. On the other side, in Cambodia, thousands of families also ran away. More than 1,100 families left their homes near the border. They left everything behind. Their homes were empty. Villages became quiet and broken, some damaged by bombs. Daily life for hundreds of thousands of people stopped because of the conflict. One big danger was landmines. These hidden bombs could explode and hurt people badly. Thailand said Cambodia put new landmines in the disputed areas. Cambodia denied this. But the fear of landmines was real for everyone near the border. This unseen threat added to the misery. The war also hurt the economy very much. Money stopped flowing. Trade between Thailand and Cambodia almost stopped completely, dropping by 99.5%. This meant very few goods moved across the border. Every day, this cost about $14 million in lost business. Many shops closed, and countless people lost their jobs. The United States government watched the conflict. The U.S. had helped make the peace deal before, and its quick collapse was a problem. Now the U.S. sent a strong message. If the fighting continued, it might stop trade with both countries entirely. This serious threat put more pressure on Thailand and Cambodia. But it also made some wonder if this would push them to fight even harder rather than surrendering their claims. 7. The big countries. The broken peace deal was a problem for many big countries. For United States President Donald Trump, it was embarrassing. Just weeks before, he had helped leaders sign a peace agreement. He called it a great success, something many believed was impossible. Now the fighting had started again, making his efforts seem weak. This raised questions about how strong his foreign policy really was. ASEAN, a group of countries in Southeast Asia, also faced issues. Their rule of non-interference means they do not get involved in other countries' problems too much. This rule made it hard for ASEAN to stop the conflict between Thailand and Cambodia. The group could not make peace last, showing its limits in solving big fights between its members. China watched closely. It had also helped in the first talks in July. China showed it wanted to be a mediator, a country that helps others talk. This conflict was part of a bigger competition between the U.S. and China in Southeast Asia. Both big powers wanted to show their influence in the region. Inside Thailand and Cambodia, leaders felt great pressure. In Cambodia, Prime Minister Hun Manet needed to show strength. His father, Hun Sen, was still very powerful, so Hun Manet had to prove he was a strong leader for his country. In Thailand, Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra also needed to look strong and protect her country's land. Both leaders knew their people watched them closely. With the United States busy with its own problems and ASEAN unable to stop the war, no strong leader was left to step in. A big gap opened up. This meant the fighting could go on for a long time, leading to more deaths and no clear winner. No one knew who could stop it now. 8. Is peace possible? The renewed fighting in December 2025 brought great sadness. Once again, artillery fire and airstrikes hurt innocent people on both sides. Thai families lost their homes and Cambodian villages were destroyed. Many civilians had to leave everything behind, running for safety. This tragedy showed that war always brings pain, no matter who started it or which country you belong to. The peace deal, which many hoped would last, had a major weakness. It did not clearly draw the lines on the maps. Leaders shook hands and spoke of peace, but they did not agree on who owned the disputed land. This lack of agreement on the actual borders was a critical flaw. Without both sides knowing exactly where their land ends and the other's begins, true peace cannot stand strong. Because this basic problem was not solved, the ceasefire was only a temporary quiet time. It was a pause in a conflict that has lasted for many years. The guns stopped for a few weeks, but the deep anger and disagreements over the land remained. This shows that unless countries are willing to truly compromise on territory, peace deals can become just breaks in a cycle of forever war. The old maps and temple disputes continue to fuel the conflict. The question then becomes, can nations find lasting peace when their disagreements over land are so old and so deep?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.